A $1.2 million launch from Yapping on Instagram, a 5 times higher email click-through rate, 420,000 views on a completely unhinged Instagram post. What is going on? Today, I am counting down the major marketing trends I am seeing right now. Over the last few months, I've been noticing some very interesting shifts happening online, from branding to content to email marketing. Some of them really surprised me. Some of them completely contradict what marketers have been teaching for years. And all of them, every single one of them, explain why so many businesses are struggling to stand out right now. Before I dive into these trends, I want to tell you about a resource that has honestly helped validate a lot of what I'm about to share with you. It's called the 2026 State of Marketing Report, and it's made by HubSpot, who are sponsoring today's video. Let me tell you, this free report has helped me stay in the know about what's coming, stay ahead of the curve, and honestly sound like a genius in front of you guys. It is chock full of real data based on a survey of over 1,500 marketers. And some of the findings in this report completely back up what I've been seeing in the wild. Like the fact that 61% of marketers say your taste and brand point of view are more important than ever before, which, spoiler alert, is a huge theme in this video. Or that short form video has absolutely skyrocketed as the highest ROI content format. And I'll break down exactly why a little bit later. It also gets into how AI is changing search traffic, why personalization is no longer optional, and where the biggest growth opportunities are for you and your clients right now. I've linked this report in the description box below for you to grab for free. I genuinely think you will reference this more than once, just like I have. And big thanks to HubSpot for sponsoring this video and for making these incredible free resources. Now, let's get into it. Here are the 5 major trends I'm noticing right now. And let me tell you, once you see these, you will start to notice them everywhere you look. We are counting them down, starting with trend number 5, nostalgia, whimsy, and maximalism. For years, branding seemed to be moving in one direction, towards a clean, polished, and curated aesthetic. The perfect Instagram grid, flat logos, sans serif fonts, polished photos, and lots of white space. But lately, I'm noticing something very, very different. The brands getting the most attention today aren't necessarily the most polished or the most clean. They are the most human, the most real, the ones that bring us back to a simpler time before the aesthetic algorithm took over. So think teenage bedrooms circa 90s and early 2000s. You had boy band posters next to Got Milk ads, next to a photo collage of all your best friends, random colors, sponge painting on the walls, blow up furniture, things that really didn't match or go together. That's what made it feel special. That's what made it feel like a place you wanted to hang out with your friends, playing Dream Phone or something. I am living for this Instagram account where 30-year-old Melinda Haig decided to bring back the 90s and completely decked out her bedroom with all her favorite childhood things. Oh my gosh, yes. And I know I am not the only one who is craving this sort of analog chaos, like handwritten doodles and scrapbooks and clashing patterns, bright colors, and stickers. There is a major trend right now towards people seeking more self-expression, originality, and creativity in visual branding. Now, why is this happening? Well, in my opinion, this is a direct clapback to the basic, bland, vibe-coded websites that we see popping up all over the freaking place. Now, if you haven't heard of vibe coding, it's where instead of manually creating or designing a website from scratch or hiring a designer to do it for you like I did, you simply describe the vibe you want to AI and it builds the whole thing for you. Now listen, I know, right? This might sound like an incredible shortcut, and it is a shortcut, but the problem is when everyone starts doing it. The internet is full of vibe-coded websites that honestly all kind of look identical. And once you see it, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Purple gradient buttons, glowing cards, rounded corners, hero sections that say something like transform your workflow in a clean, safe sans serif font. Perfectly neat and tidy with zero personality, and ironically, zero vibes to speak of. So a designer named Javile Ma wrote about this recently and honestly described it perfectly. She said, vibe coders are trained on huge data sets of HTML, CSS, and screenshots. They don't learn taste or visual hierarchy, only what repeats most often. If purple gradient buttons show up in a lot of examples, those become the safe choice. Same with glowing cards, gradient headlines, or rounded corners. The model doesn't understand when to use those things. It only learns that they're popular. So when it generates a page, it stacks everything that scored high in the data. And when you compare these vibe-coded websites that you see everywhere to websites that have been intentionally designed to reflect the personality, the values, and the taste of the creator, you notice a big difference. It's just like AI copywriting. Just because AI can do it doesn't mean it's good, and it's optimizing for average. When everyone uses the same AI tools, the same templates, the same generic output, the feeling that something was actually made by a real human with a real point of view is rare, and we want it. According to HubSpot's State of Marketing report, 61% of marketers agree that your taste and your brand point of view are more important than ever before. And that is exactly why we are seeing a major shift towards nostalgic visuals, maximalist designs, and whimsy. In fact, the term whimsy has seen a huge spike in Google searches just this past year. And Pinterest reports cultivating whimsy as one of the top 5 trends on the platform right now. Now, if you're sitting there wondering, what the heck is whimsy, like I was, here's exactly how Pinterest describes it. For your more joy, please era. Fun decor, dreamy styling, and tiny playful projects to keep on rotation in 2026. Whimsy is the spirit of the moment, that childlike sense of wonder, mismatched betting that somehow works, and genuinely looking forward to jumping in a puddle just because it's raining. From mismatched manicures to stickers on everything, doodles in the margins, and little DIYs that don't need to be perfect to be worth making, cultivating whimsy is officially here. And they even predict that Throwback Kid and Pen Pals will be upcoming trends this year, and this all tells us something very important. No, not that your brand has to feel like it was plucked out of the 90s unless that's your vibe, but that we should all be asking ourselves, how do I create a brand identity and point of view that's impossible to mistake for anyone or anything else? And that brings me to trend number 4, the how-to apocalypse. Now listen, I know that sounds kind of doom and gloom, but I promise it's not if you look at it the right way. To quote my friend Sean Twing, another major shift we're seeing right now in content marketing is what he called the how-to apocalypse. Basically, the notion that selling pure information is now dead. Now, before you come at me in the comments, I am not saying that online courses are dead, and I will prove it to you later in this video. I'm not saying that education is dead. I truly believe teaching real skills and sharing real value will always work and will always be in demand. But the way people consume information has fundamentally changed, and that we cannot argue with. I mean, think about it. AI can now generate unlimited blog posts, unlimited frameworks, unlimited lists, unlimited 5 tips type of content. AI has made basic how-to information completely dirt cheap, basically free. There is no shortage of this type of content online, but there is a major trust shortage. People are doubting more than ever before if what they're learning online has any truth or real human experience behind it. And that is why we are seeing a major shift from pure education to evidence-based insights, or what I like to call show, don't tell content. Like this post where I talk about the 8 things our highest converting emails have in common. Instead of sharing 8 tips to improve your email conversions as an example, in this show, don't tell post, I pulled real examples of high converting emails that we actually sent to our list and shared real insights backed by real data. So here is another example from my Instagram. This carousel on 10 genius social hooks could have very easily been a tell-only post. We could have just listed out the 10 social hooks that honestly anyone could have asked ChatGPT for and left it at that. But instead, we showcased real posts where we actually used these hooks and then also shared the engagement data to back them up. This show content is instantly more valuable. This post generated over 38,000 views, hundreds of saves, and hundreds of shares. People do not just want how-to information anymore. They want receipts, they want evidence, they want proof, they want real examples that back up what you're teaching. And this leads me to trend number 3, selling the sawdust. So before the age of AI, basically everything, most people would only share or showcase their final product in their marketing. Think the picture-perfect studio shots, the perfect outfit, the final cut. But the creators and businesses getting the most attention today are not just showing their work, they are showing themselves working. The messy middle part that most people don't show because it's messy. It's like building in public. But you know what else it is? It's real. My hubby is such a good example of this. So if you don't know, he creates these beautiful custom-made hats. And for a long time, all he would post on Instagram was the finished product, this gorgeous hat that he had spent days, hours, weeks sometimes even making. But when he started filming himself in the process of making the hats, his reach and engagement took off because you could see the shaping process, the stitching and the craftsmanship that goes into every single piece he makes. I mean, take a look at this, 88,000 views for a YouTube account with a little over 1,000 subscribers is wild because showing the process is more interesting and it increases the perceived value and more importantly, it creates trust. So the question is, no matter what it is that you sell or teach or do online, how do you sell your sawdust? How do you share your process, not just the final product? Now, the next shift I'm seeing is even more interesting. And honestly, it's a little bit controversial because some of the best performing content that I'm seeing right now is not show content, it's not tell content. It is simply sharing opinions, stories, and relatable rants. Research from Sprout Social consistently shows that consumers prefer brands with original content that's relatable, authentic, and completely off the cuff. Like this video where I rant about how AI is making you dumb. Now, whether or not you agree with that statement isn't really the point. The point is that I shared my opinion in a really open, vulnerable, and ranty conversational way. And that one post generated more than 22,000 views while maintaining a 15-second average watch time. And 15 seconds in like short form Instagram land is an eternity. Most people only watch for a couple of seconds. Why? Because true opinions create curiosity, they open the door for more discussion, and they drive engagement. And we are moving into a world where, just like evidence, perspective is more valuable than information alone. The Edelman Trust Barometer has consistently found that people place more trust in experts, creators, and relatable individuals more than faceless institutions or businesses or people who hide behind a logo. When information is everywhere, what people trust is a real, honest, unfiltered human point of view. And that is precisely how a creator named Jessie Jean just pulled off a $1.2 million launch selling something called a Yapping challenge. And guess what? She did it all over again just last week. We're talking $2 million plus launches in the span of 1 month. That is freaking amazing. First of all, F yes, I love seeing women win. But what is yapping, you might be wondering? Well, the premise of yapping is essentially recording candid story-based videos on social media, speaking directly to the camera. Now, this is so interesting to me because for years we were told to tighten up our scripts, to get to the point, to remove the fluff, to make every single sentence count, to edit out the bloopers and little imperfections. But now some of the best performing content on social media is nothing more than a real authentic conversations with bloopers and all. Because opinions and stories and relatable rants build trust. Jessie Jean saw this trend early. She grew a massive Instagram following quickly by walking the talk, by showing and not telling, by yapping on her Instagram account, and then she created a course teaching other people exactly how to do what she just did. So to anyone who said courses are dead, ha! Now, obviously, the lesson here isn't just to turn on your camera and ramble endlessly. There is still strategy and storytelling structures and positioning required, and having a well-written video script still matters a great deal, not only because AI is known for over-explaining and adding so much unnecessary fluff to content, but because video still reigns supreme when it comes to content marketing. According to HubSpot's 2026 State of Marketing report, short-form video content has skyrocketed as the highest ROI format in the past year, with long-form video and live video taking the number 2 and number 3 spots. Why? Because people are craving people. We want personality, we want perspective, we want humor, we want real conversations online, and video is a great way to do that. And by the way, there is so much more good stuff in this report from HubSpot, so I highly recommend you grab your free copy in the description box below. And while you're down there, if you want me to do an entire video on exactly how I script my videos, both long and short form, comment below and let me know. Now, if you're not big on yapping on camera, listen, that is okay. You can still have relatable and relevant conversations. Look at this post that I shared on Instagram right before the Christmas holidays. Absolutely unhinged out of office replies. It hit 420,000 views and 17,000 shares, not because it was following some viral framework, but because it was relatable and it felt deeply human and completely relevant to where people were at. And that leads me to the biggest trend I am seeing online right now, and one that we have been leaning into hard at the Copy Posse. Trend number 1, personalized copywriting. For years, marketers have obsessed over automation at scale. Essentially, how can we speak to the largest number of people all at once, all on autopilot? However, with the market becoming increasingly flooded with generic made-for-everyone messages, coupled with a major spike in overall skepticism and distrust, buyers are ignoring messages that feel like they weren't made just for them. According to HubSpot's 2026 State of Marketing report, 93% of marketers report that personalization improves leads and purchases. And there are so many more insights that you need to see in this report. Grab your copy at the link below. I think you'll find it really helpful as you map out your content and marketing strategies for this year. I know I sure did. But this trend all comes down to one thing. The more you can personalize your copywriting based on things like past purchases, interests, and demographics, the better your marketing will perform. And one of the most practical ways to do this, starting like right now, is through your email marketing. Since the start of the year, we've been emailing smaller interest and behavior-based segments way more often than we send to our full newsletter list. So these are people who have actively shown interest in a specific topic, either by signing up for a lead magnet or engaging with a particular piece of content or taking some sort of other intent-based action. And the email copywriting for each of these segments is highly personalized to them versus a batch and blast approach to messaging. And take a look at these stats. In February, we sent a total of 8 emails to our entire newsletter, and our average open rate was 32.3%. But here's what's wild. In April, when we really started with this segmentation and personalization strategy, we sent 51 emails across all the different segments of our newsletter, 51. And the average open rate was 31.1%. So basically the same despite sending 6 times as many emails. The truth is, sending more emails was never the problem. Sending irrelevant emails was. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Our targeted segments generated a 4.19% click rate on average, compared to our 0.79% click-through rate on our full list sends. That's more than 5 times higher. If you are not personalizing your marketing in 2026, you are seriously leaving so much money on the table. And by the way, I have an entire video walking you through the new rules of email marketing that I just dropped, and I will link to that video right after this one. Give me a thumbs up below if you found this video helpful, and I'll see you next week with a brand new video. Until then, I'm Alex. Ciao for now. Before you go, if you liked that video, make sure to check out this one next. Okay, tell me if you've heard any of these traditional email marketing rules. Short subject lines are better than long subject lines. Don't use emojis in your emails or subject lines. Long emails do not work anymore. Don't use brackets or tags